3 is underway. What are the early signs to you that Jarnell Stokes has figured out this zone D? Maybe there's one right there.
Cue it up, cue up the tape, but that's what he did. And the good job working for position. He got to the block, cut inside, and that's what he's got to do. Continue to move, use his strength, but get deep in the post and in the lane where he can operate best.
Ryan Gomes had a slow start, 16 of his 18 in the second half, including 5 down the stretch, but it was the facilitation of Josh Magette that got things going for LA.
But again, we come back to this end of the floor, and all eyes will be on Jarnell Stokes and how he can immediately make an impact in this game. He'll still look to facilitate, but he's got to look to score as well.
Nearly a triple team came to Stokes as it's rotated to Jabril Trawick. And that's it with LA. This is the job he wanted, and now he's got his squad on the brink of a championship. Stokes to Paolo. Good block by Gomes underneath, but it stays with the Skyforce.
Excellent possession for Dew, sending an extra player in Vanderblue at Stokes. He finds Paolo under the basket, but again, the defense still quick enough to collapse and recover.
Magruder catch and shoot. Battle for the rebound. It comes to Stokes, who follows up his own miss.
And that's something we didn't see a lot out of the Skyforce, where they normally dominate the offensive glass. It was the Los Angeles team, the Skyforce, getting second chance looks early on. Will be a big difference maker.
Vanderblue nearly threw it away. Under 10 on the timer. The Jet had 16 points and 10 assists, a double-double in game 2. Justin Harper had back-to-back 21-point performances, misses his first look. Skyforce off to the races.
Beautiful break. The open court is where the Skyforce is just very efficient in their execution. See how hard they can run it. In Los Angeles, they want to play an up-tempo game, but again, how does that affect the minutes that these starters already put in with the shortened bench and the shortened rotation that Casey Owens has to deal with?
Transition game here for the Skyforce. Stokes, the trailer, puts it on the deck and gets to the rim for 2.
Good things always happen when you're in the middle of the floor, especially for a player like Stokes. We didn't see him make plays like that yesterday. He wasn't as aggressive. He was looking to pass off. I like the way that he's got his mindset on getting to the hoop early on.
First 2 games, it was LA that got off to a great start. Here in the decisive game 3, it's Sioux Falls up 8-0 with Jarnell Stokes having 6 points. Magruder got fouled.
And what a drastic defensive ability, but offensively. He's a 3-and-D guy, can hit a 3-pointer, but now he's been in more of attack mode, averaging just about 6 more free throw attempts per game during these playoffs.
Second-year pro out of Kansas State. Ryan Gomes can't hit off glass. Sioux Falls in the form of DeAndre Liggins running. Back of the iron on a 3. Sioux Falls with the decided rebounding advantage in this series. Magette, though, with the steal, led the league in that category during the regular season. Josh Magette, watched by Rodney Magruder. Jet back to Magruder as the tone has been set here early in game 3.
Not a lot of love between these two teams, no surprise.
Vanderblue fades away. Justin Harper inside. 9 in a must-win game 2.
And they really haven't figured out a way to stop Vanderblue. We saw Magruder start out on Vander in game 1 and game 2. Now they're trying Liggins to see what he can do to slow him down.
Ryan Gomes over Jarnell Stokes.
And it goes without saying, at this point in the ball game, given the depth of the Skyforce, you got to make sure that you cut into this lead and don't let Sioux Falls gain confidence and get a comfortable lead to be able to use their bench to their advantage.
Casey Owens does not call an early timeout. Allows his team to try to dig out of that 10-0 hole on their own. Harper in the corner, drains it.
That's what Harper does, and he is been very consistent in these finals, 21.7 rebounds in each of game 1 and game 2. But Jarnell Stokes spoke with us yesterday, and he said, I got to work on my contests. I got to make sure to get out quicker, hands high, and don't give these stretch bigs the type of looks that they've been getting.
That's his bread and butter, just backing down Harper to score once again in the painted area.
And when Stokes is so deep, it's hard to throw those traps and throws those extra bodies on him, and he's had his way early on.
We see the finished product, but how important is the location of the catch for Stokes?
Huge, huge. I mean, it's every
three. Stokes, baseline drive, spins and scores.
I tell you what, he's showing off.
But missed the layup. Collapsing D by Sioux Falls leads to the transition opportunity. Magruder to Liggins. Now it's Paolo on the crossover, gets underneath. Offensive rebounds, an elite.
But a nice job with his quick, active hands to get that going. And a much needed point for this Los Angeles team.
Liggins, no good from three. Good box out of Stokes by Harper for the rebounds. Gomes to Andre Ingram. In and out from three. Ingram coming off of a 20-point performance in game 2, just 7 in game 1. He was an X factor for the defenders in that game 2 victory.
Yeah, and unexpected after he was quiet in game 1, struggled from the perimeter. And they're going to need him, though, to knock down some of those open looks outside.
Magette with the steal, pushing the other way. He has 7 of the 14 field goal attempts for the Skyforce here early on.
Stokes sending an early message. Also 6 offensive rebounds for the Skyforce.
Magette gets taken down.
Brings to this team, and we got a chance to catch up with him prior to the game, just about the balance, the understanding he needs to have in terms of when to attack, how to use the pick and roll to not only find his teammates, but also make sure he's being just as much of a scoring threat as well to space out this floor and attack the gaps of this defense.
Prior to the game, Josh Magette was munching on a bar, legs crossed, reading the game notes. I thought only the media reads that.
Put a suit on him, you'd think he was calling the game.
I think we got to be careful.
Yeah, that is the case with a handful of these players.
Looked way too relaxed for a game 3. Whittington strokes a 3.
Carryover going to be open, and with a team like Sioux Falls, he's got guys that can knock down those open shots.
Into Stokes, there comes Blue again. Ball movement to Magruder. Rebounded there by Michael Holyfield, came off the bench in game 2 with 8 big rebounds. LA needs some type of production from their bench. Magette driving against Stokes, just throws one up and gets the roll.
A little English on that one, but what a finish by Magette. And I like the aggressiveness, taking it to the basket when there was no real other options on that play.
Paolo drives to the rim, draws the attention, and Stokes on the weak side sticks it back. Transition here for Sioux Falls, but it's stopped by Magette. Stepping into a 3. Long rebound to Magruder. The lead is 8 for Sioux Falls. Their biggest advantage in that game 2 loss was just 6. Late whistle.
Gaining buckets for himself and also for his teammates.
Vander Blue is getting the mismatch against Stokes, just can't take advantage. Kick out Whittington, and Michael Holyfield, a good box out.
And for Stokes, you know, I know Dan Craig has made adjustments offensively, what they're doing, but even him himself, seeing what the defense gave him last night and already just understanding, learning from it.
Josh Magette started his professional career in the Netherlands, played a year for the LA Defenders. then went to Greece and came back to LA. Chris Berman anchors our coverage for the 36th year, along with a cast of thousands, also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Larry Drew II is checked in for Sioux Falls. So too as Torrey Murray. This is Drew, off target from 3. Usually Andre Ingram is an early sub or comes off the floor early in the first quarter, but Speedy Smith unavailable tonight for LA in the backcourt. A right wrist injury that has him out. Fed inside.
Weeks for him. He said try and get back and be ready for when Summer League rolls around.
90 seconds to go. DeAndre Liggins just throws it up. Whittington to Keith Benson. A bit of a hitch in his shot as he misses. Magette open for 3. Well beyond the line and left it short. Torrey Murray without numbers, pushing to Liggins, slithers inside, and it was caught on the baseline.
Being down only 5 points towards the end of this first quarter, having shot under 30% from the field so far, certainly haven't played their best and still be within reach of this Sioux Falls team that came out of the gate so quickly.
And they trailed 10-0 early. During over in game 2 just 9 times, part of their success in their must-win victory. Murray drives in, bodies up against Holyfield and flips it in.
And how good was Murray? Last night he came in an offensive spark from the bench. He hit some very timely three-pointers and showed just the veteran presence that he could bring for this team.
Magette drives to the rim and lays it in. Just adjustments they made offensively, but more than anything went back to his bruising big man self of just poke. Josh Magette rimmed out on a 3.
Defenders 17 points, tying their season low for first quarter points. They said their brand of basketball is
collected by Sioux Falls. Craig Whittington drives baseline, sees the double team, and LA forces the turnover.
Excellent help there by Holyfield.
Harper clogged up, and it's out of bounds to Sioux Falls. 5-point lead here for Sioux Falls, just underway in the second quarter.
Out most, just 4 field goal attempts, didn't get a lot of touches. Credit Los Angeles' defense, but 13 points already for Stokes. Looked like it might have went off Magette's foot. Good LA ball, and this game has been chippy early on, and that will continue.
Full court, Vanderblue off to a slow start, averaging 30 points per game in these finals. Josh Magette lost the handle, and then it was knocked out by Torrey Murray.
Los Angeles gets the ball back, but they lead the league in fewest turnovers. They don't have many unforced ones like that.
You mentioned how difficult LA thought it would be to beat Sioux Falls in back-to-back games. Only once this entire season did Sioux Falls lose consecutive contests at home.
Well, and they had, prior to last night, they had lost here at home in close to 3 months.
Craig Whittington for 2.
And Whittington from the three-point line certainly was a factor there in game 2. Up this production and what we had seen, 17 points for him.
Vanderblue now just 1 of 6 from the field, looking for a call.
going hard to the hoop, and Blue with just 2 points so far in this game, but he's a guy who likes to play downhill attack mode, and he's going to need to get something going for this defenders team if they want to hang in.
Magette blocked by Benson. Gets it back though. The low feed to Holyfield is knocked out of bounds by Sioux Falls.
Disjointed play.
The regular season games. Justin Hawkins is checked in for LA. Returned to the lineup in game 2 after missing 3 straight playoff games. It's a trifecta for Josh Magette and back to a 5-point game.
You see the mismatch there. Murray was on Harper, but Magette shooting over Benson. Critical basket.
Whittington catch and shoot. Rebound down to Magette. Cross court for Blue. Good hands by Whittington. Up ahead, Magruder. And the foul called on Josh Magette.
What's changed? So I don't think anything has changed at all. I don't think there's a difference. And that's the type of attitude and mindset because he plays within the context of the offense.
It'll stay.
Can do what Magruder can do. Benson inside.
Ingram after his own miss. And the 6'4" Ingram sticks it back with one hand.
Let's go, Force. Let's go, Force. Go, Force.
Magruder is open. Missing from 3 these playoffs.
And it did it. It threw them off. It namely in taking the ball out of Stokes' hands in position at the block to score. But it's different looks. It's mixing things up.
Justin Harper, no good from 3. On the reload, it's Hawkins. A third opportunity for Vanderblue. That got left short.
And you can't say it about every miss, but you got to start to wonder. Vanderblue, Josh Magette both played 48 minutes last night. Does that affect their legs as we see Whittington hit that corner 3, a factor from the 3-point arc.
6-point swing.
After the release.
You're a shooter, you want that call.
You want any call. That's what you do. You're holding your hand, your wrist, you're looking at the ref. I don't think they're going to buy that, though.
Another offensive rebound for LA. Magette, bounce pass, Harper for the lane.
Draw the defense, create, dish off to your open teammate. That was such a simple, fundamental play, but it's what Josh Magette can do that makes him so good as a distributor. And, of course, Justin Harper, a guy, they have such great chemistry feeding off of his teammate.
Stokes finds the cutting Magruder. In that game 6, that heroic performance where LeBron would just not come off the floor as motivation for Vander. Off the block, numbers for the defenders. Harper driving against Stokes and lays it in.
I like to see that Harper getting involved, what he can do, get to the basket, even Vanderblue try and get going. He led the league in free throw attempts, maybe seeing a couple of those go in, adding points on the board. Anytime you're a scorer, you see the ball go through the hoop, it adds to your feel, your flow, your rhythm of a ball game.
Nearly midway through the second quarter, Torrey Murray falling back, missing the shot. Blue wants to run without numbers. Ingram from the elbow, in and out.
We got a lot of refs in the stands.
Sure do. Another packed house here in Sioux Falls.
It's been an awesome environment. The atmosphere, the arena. This is a very educated basketball town. Dan Casey and Casey Owens have both said, or Dan Craig, I should say.
Rodney Magruder drills a 3.
They love their Sky Force, and they have been out to support them this entire regular season as they saw the record broken for DLeague wins 40. It's been quite a year for the Sky Force. Can they finish it off?
Vanderblue gets to the cup, and the record they broke, the 38 wins by LA back in 2012. The last time a finals went to 3 games, the defenders lost to the Austin Toros. Liggins fires from 3 and connects. Make it a 2.
And DeAndre Liggins on average, but 45 minutes last night. It's not going to be easy for this starting 5 for Los Angeles in the back-to-back, but they're ready to empty the tank.
And the trend continues tonight for LA.
That these LA players have said we're used to it. It's how we played in the playoffs. Lost some teammates to injury. But they said, what more do you want? An opportunity to play for a championship? You don't want to come off the floor.
Torrey Murray left a 3 short. Jarnell Stokes battling for the rebounds. First half. And speaking of stars, Jarnell Stokes, number 2 on the NBA D-League prospect watch list. Spent some time with Miami earlier this season and is concluding the year here in Sioux Falls. Harper spins, and it's blocked away. Nigel Spikes earning his first minutes.
That for depth for Dan Craig. Puts in a guy who hasn't seen a minute in the finals and makes an impact immediately.
Played just a total of 2 minutes in the Eastern Conference Finals, did Spikes. Whittington attempts to thread a pass that's kicked out of bounds.
The Skyforce, they're going to a zone. They've been trapping. They've been showing some double teams. But they got to make sure that they continue to pack it in the paint because the Skyforce produce best when they get the ball inside like they did right there. You like your matchup if Vanderbilt can take it at a player like Nigel Spikes.
A low-scoring first half. Who does that favor?
I mean, I think it favors the Skyforce because that's how they want to play. They want to play more in the half court. They're defensive-minded. If they can keep LA off the scoreboard, guys, an understanding of what they're trying to do at the NBA level, and it's a trickle-down effect that it's certainly benefited the Skyforce team and a big reason why they've been so successful.
Eric Spoelstra has been a bit busy as Sioux Falls comes up with the steal. Liggins shielding off Magette, and it's stolen back by LA, but Spoelstra and Craig have texted during these playoffs. Blue knocks down the mid-range too. The last 2 Sioux Falls head coaches are currently on NBA benches as assistants. The plan for Dan Craig was to come up here for a year, learn how to run a team, and then eventually find himself back on the Miami bench.
Yeah, Pat Delaney with Charlotte under Steve Clifford.
For Sioux Falls is 8. They jumped out to a 10-0 start to begin the game. Magette driving. The kick out to Harper. The outside shooting so important in game 2. It's not there in game 3. Vanderbilt can't hit from the outside. Contrast
because of their limitations at depth, and also because the way the Skyforce team plays, wanting to slow things down to a half-court game.
Paulo uses the screen. Murray pump fakes from a 3. Spikes keeps it alive. Three-quarters of a minute to go in the first. Torrey Murray. LA to hold for 1. Magette with Harper. It skipped to the corner for Ingram. Just throws one up. Rattles one in. 7-point game. 2 seconds to go. Liggins to Paulo. Beat the buzzer, but it's off the iron, no good. Back in 2014 for Oklahoma City, had a couple of stints overseas, and he thought this year his best option would be to play in the D-League. He joined LA in January and earned the Impact Player of the Year award for the D-League.
You can't ask for much more out of Ryan Gomes, and he said, I didn't want people and want myself to say, whatever happened to Ryan Gomes? Does he have anything left? He said, I wanted to leave the game on my own terms, and certainly not to say that this is the last year that he will be playing, but he put on a show for the D-League and for plenty to see during these playoffs.
Rodney Magruder scores to open up the second half. And so in Gomes, you're losing a big body, a big scorer, and a huge veteran presence that so many of these younger players looked up to.
I mean, he is a guy that has just shown a professionalism. And he said, I like to teach these guys what it means to play in the D-League, to be an NBA player, and what it means to be a professional.
Josh Magette on the pull-up.
And I don't care how many players that this Los Angeles team continues to lose. I promise you we're going to see them fight till the end, because we have seen that throughout the playoffs. Impressive in just their grittiness and the moxie that they bring to the floor.
DJ Shumpert taking the place of Ryan Gomes to start the third quarter. Justin Harper with a weak side block. And the shot clock expires. We mentioned the journey.
Early on his career in Boston, some of his best years there in Minnesota, ended up getting amnestied from the Clippers. And he said, that's where I started to decide, what do I want to do in my career? How do I want to leave this game?
DeAndre Liggins with the help defense. Defensive Player of the Year in the D-League comes up with a big block and a whistle away from the ball.
Is something to be said about the growth of the D-League, and also just a player maturing and understanding maybe where his career is at, what's left for him. And that's what he said. It was being older, it was being more mature, and it was making a decision during the first round and then in the finals against Austin. And just 2 points here tonight, a big piece missing for the Los Angeles team that relies so heavily on their starters.
The path to the championship for Sioux Falls has just opened up in a big way as Jarnell Stokes scores from the outside. His first bucket of these finals, not in the paint.
And you don't want to overlook Stokes and what he's trying to show in terms of extending his offense and improving his outside shot. That's going to be one of the biggest factors if he can be an NBA player.
Rebounded by Harper. Six on the timer. Magette out to Harper. Weak side rebound, Stokes. On the floor with 3 fouls. Magruder, Liggins, Trolick, Stokes, and Paolo. Shumpert rebounds, playing in the front court with Harper, Ingram, Blue, and Magette, the rest of the 5. Paolo, crossover against Magette.
Paolo shows why he's so quick getting to the...
Even less from capping off the greatest regular season in D-League history with Sioux Falls' first ever D-League championship.
He told us records are made to be broken, championships last forever. He said we are proud of that record, but as soon as the regular season was done, we were done with it. We've had one goal throughout these playoffs, and these guys need to understand the moment that's at stake.
Inside to Trolick. Good ball movement by Sioux Falls. If you're LA, what can you do?
Well, trying to limit what the Skyforce has been able to do in side-to-side ball movement. They've done a good job, relatively speaking, after that first quarter of handling the inside with Stokes. But it is the ball movement that's got not just a good job, but great job for the Skyforce in the most.
LA was the first D-League team to be owned by an NBA franchise. Their parent club is the Los Angeles Lakers. Their first season was back in 2006-07. Fourth time in the playoffs for the Defenders. They enter the 2012 finals with the best record in D-League history. They could not close the deal in 3 games. Sioux Falls broke that record this season with 40 regular season wins, and now they're trying to take down LA for the title.
And a turnover there, but it's been a core of guys with the Skyforce team that is created the depth that we see, but also the understanding of the offense, what Dan Craig is trying to run systematically, both defensively and offensively, and they executed so very well.
Collected by Sioux Falls. Jabril Trawick on the move. Liggins out to Trawick. Stokes from the outside.
Once again, it's that outside shot that he emphasized to us he's been working on, he's been improving, wants to show that he has more of just an inside game and that he could knock down that face-up 15-footer. And that's gonna be the biggest aspect that NBA scouts and GMs, coaches are gonna look at. Can he do more to pull defenders out, not only hit that outside shot, but also create more for himself inside because of it?
Makes the kick out to Paulo, and it lipped out. Blue wraparound pass. Holyfield puts it on the deck, missing the layup. Extra pass to Ingram, leans in for two. And the tough shooting evening for LA continues here into the third quarter.
You can't say it enough. You got to wonder how those minutes, the type of minutes these starters have played, not just during these final series, but the entire postseason has begun to wear on them.
Stokes with the mismatch against Blue, just shoots right over the top and connects again.
He's feeling it. 6 points in this third quarter, and all 3 of those field goals have been perimeter face-up shots.
He told us that his game does include those types of maneuvers, but his team needed him to be a post presence, and that was what was going to win games. And on the final day of the D-League season, we're seeing a complete game for Jarnell Stokes.
It is, and he said that he came in to this year understanding the type of development he needs. He said, I didn't have that mindset my rookie year, but now I'm starting to learn habits. I saw a pass from Trawick to Paulo, but I'm starting to learn the habits I need to improve. And he said, I took it to heart, and I wasn't prepared my rookie year. I didn't come into the D-League prepared to really work on my game, and he said that's been the difference for me this year.
Lead is up to 14. Sioux Falls with Stokes in the lineup, 28-5 this season. Comes up with the steal, leads the 3-on-2, and gets held by Harper.
Undersized big man. I mean, his size, obviously, he brings a strength. He throws his body around. He goes after it on the boards. But the knock against him is his size, and it's not just that, because he can play in the league at that size with his strength, but he needs to develop that outside game, and it looks like he's starting to do that.
Pins Vander Blue.
2. But at this point, it's an uphill climb for this LA team, given their numbers.
Trawick, a 3. This Sioux Falls crowd starting to realize how close they are to a championship. 17-point lead. Harper had it knocked from his hands. And the bench.
Stokes told us yesterday one of his favorite parts is the way they're like brothers. They go after each other in practice. It's an effort to make one another better, but it's that close-knit feel that's made them walk away with the type of season they've had. The system and understanding how to put together the best group of 5 guys in the rotation you need to be most effective throughout games, and Craig has done an impressive job with that.
Stokes against Magette. Takes the smaller defender to the basket.
Stokes, he's got to be out to prove something. Prove that he not only is MVP of the D-League, but what's going to happen to him this offseason in the summer and trying to get himself on an NBA roster.
10 of 12 from the fields. And the 3 jump shots he hit in this third quarter, the only 3 field goals of the finals to come outside of the paint. Paulo goes high for the lay-in.
To play inside, play a stretch 4.
Whittington leads the break. Throws one up, no. Redirected to Harper of LA. Foul on the perimeter. Boo brought a smile to his face to think about how far he's come in terms of his individual development.
It's crazy to think what can happen in a year, but he said, good, nice dunk by Shumpert, pass by Magette. But Magruder said, you know, something just clicked in Summer League. Dan Craig, of course, coaching that Miami Heat Summer League. Rodney Magruder there. And he said it was the opportunity, and the opportunity that Craig gave him, the confidence he gave him. And it is a trickle-down effect. We can talk player to player on the Skyforce team. There's so much talent as we see Liggins drain the three on the other end.
20-point lead for Sioux Falls. Ingram lost the dribble. Here's Magruder. Kick out Liggins, wants another three. In and out. Up ahead to Blue. Euro step in the lane, and the parent club of Sioux Falls for the last 3 years, the exclusive affiliate, and they've made the playoffs each year. Entry into Stokes. Magette gets underneath. Well, Josh Magette has earned the attention of this Skyforce crowd. Skip to Liggins.
You can't get a better contest than that. Josh Magette running at Liggins as Liggins from deep still drains it.
Second differential between game and shot clock. Shumpert sets the screen. Pull up, Vander Blue. Off the iron, no, collected with 3 seconds left. Magruder at the buzzer would not have counted. The best.
It's what Dan Craig preaches, and it's what his system requires, and each one of these players has trust in one another, as we see Whittington.
Won game 2 to set up this decisive game 3. The defenders already shorthanded entering the night, lost Ryan Gomes at halftime, and Sioux Falls exploiting, using their depth to take a big-time lead here in the fourth, trying to close out the finals. Andre Ingram from the corner. And you saw it early. So many of these players playing major minutes last night for LA. A lot of their shots have been short.
They have been, and credit the Skyforce defense, because we know that they have a lot of credit, though, to the way this defenders team has continued to fight.
LA with just 48 points here in the fourth quarter. A team that averages well over 100 during the regular season. Magette the miss, flying in, Shumpert, denied by Whittington out of.
But his personality, we've seen it in practices and on the bench. He is energetic, he's cheering for his teammates, he is always showing some life and some passion. But that's all a part of it. I mean, that's what makes the finals, a championship, so special, because of things like that, and this crowd has been spectacular in that manner.
It was early in game 1 for these two teams that had not seen each other during the regular season. The jarring started very early.
It didn't take long. And you wonder that, because they're not familiar with one another. You're not facing up against each other during the regular season. But they knew exactly what was at stake.
The Jets scores underneath, just the 49th and 50th points here for LA. Their lowest output of the postseason, 83 on the road against Austin. This #1 rated Sioux Falls defense doing a number on the defenders. #1 during the regular season, points per game, #1. Opposition field goal percentage. Very few open looks on offense for LA. Ingram hoists up a transition 3.
Well, it's been a combination of a lot of things. One, the system and what they run. defensively for Dan Craig, and the emphasis on pressure, ball pressure. As the Defensive Player of the Year, DLeague hits his third three-pointer of the game. But it's not only what they do, but the type of players, the length, the strength, and athleticism that they have with it. Yes?
We're on the other side, DeAndre. we're over here.
Nice shot, though, it is. Good performance for Liggins thus far.
You know, the old folklore is that Jordan turns.
Emphasizing just the opportunity to win a championship at the professional level. They said that's something that doesn't come along very often. They're savoring that chance. And you know, so many of these guys throughout the season.
Alive, averaging 30 points in these finals entering tonight's game 3. DeAndre Liggins with 7 on the timer. Backing down Magette, creates space, left it short. Magette after the rebound, ripped away by Stokes for the flush. Offensive foul, illegal screen by Holyfield as Magette, 23 points for Jarnell Stokes.
And Stokes had said earlier, he said, of course, my dream was to be wearing a Memphis Grizzlies jersey, a Miami Heat jersey during this season, but he said that's not in anymore. My dream, my goal right now is to win a championship. Talked about it throughout this entire game, even game 2, sending second players at him, double teaming, trapping. And the Skyforce team is so loaded with potent scores that Stokes drawing that attention opens things up for his teammates. And it just made this team so difficult to guard, and obviously a major reason why they were able to set that D-League regular season record.
Injury in game 2, second half. LA did not have Ryan Gomes. And that effectively ended their chances to take game 3 on the road. Extra pass to Murray. Stokes the offensive rebound. Whittington opts to take more time off the clock. Trawick against Shumpert. Murray. Whittington with 7 on the timer. Works against Harper. Trawick for 3. Offensive rebound, Boo Paolo. Into the MVP, kick out Murray. Paolo takes it, defended well by Ingram. Vanderbloom working against Benson, blows right by him and then misses the layup. Just that type of night for both sides. Paolo to Trawick and an exclamation point here in Sioux Falls.